Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Crit Files. We are hot off the studio time for episode 1.
Oh, yeah. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
How did we like it? How did we enjoy it?
I love it.
I loved it.
Yeah, that was
dude.
super fun.
The whole ending after the cave thing, dude. I just got like, I don't know. That was so cinematic. Like the idea of like, oh, this is a moment in your guys' lives that you're gonna hang on to. You know,
We all find like little trinkets on the
Yeah.
beach. Oh, that was
And
so
those will be
rad.
mementos of that day.
Yeah,
Really
for
nice
sure,
little
for
like
sure.
remembers for
yeah,
that was cool.
It's such a sweet scene that I'm kind of nervous about what's going to happen next.
Oh, dude, I know. That's why when the boat came, I got like apocalypto vibes. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, there it is.
Oh, here
There's
comes the
smallpox.
conquerors. Oh, jeez.
Trying
I
to
love-
steer away from those, colonial vibes.
Yeah.
More of a trade of culture.
So who-
vibe.
I know. I got this weird like vibe too. I was thinking like, I was like, well, how long is it between calmings? Because like, what if they came over and they're like, yes, because you said they bring Melora's good news, and like, what if these people were separated just long enough? It's like one of them is like Melora, the other one like they were like, no, it's what are you talking about, Melora? It's Malacca. It's like the same god, but they just like go at it. But it's got to be like once a generation, I think you said, right, or something like that. Like.
Yeah, every few hundred years. So
a few hundred. Okay.
you know,
Oh wow.
That's quite a bit
So-
longer
for
than I
humans,
thought,
it's
but-
beyond a lifetime. For dwarves, they may see one end or another of it.
I
So
like.
yeah, quite a way.
That's
a while.
cool though. I like that.
Yeah, I like the kind of the setup for season 2. I guess building that city changes everything about creating a character. I feel like it gave us so many
I felt
seeds
like I
to
knew
go
it.
off of.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like I knew it so much better.
And
Like we were just like riffing about the old man in the cave and stuff. I was like, oh yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are tales that we heard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
knew I had to have some small fight in that cave, that we
Yeah.
came
yeah,
And what's really cool is like, once we actually get into the campaign with our actual characters and like the character sheets, for the first time playing a D&D campaign, we'll have already have established these backstories where we like played with each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like we lived them. So we know what they are. And I don't know. I think it's so cool.
I like the way that we're doing it this season, because having this kind of precursor, low pressure introduction to the characters where we don't really have everything fleshed out or don't
Yeah.
have to necessarily, giving us the chance to kind of explore the character in this new town, in this new setting, before we put it to paper and start in on the campaign, I think is really beneficial, at least for me in the way that I play and the way my mind works. So I think this is perfect.
Yeah. I think
Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's rad that we're like establishing like our group dynamics and like how our characters interact. Like Ace and Ben are like the older like people in the group, and we're like kind of taking like like fatherly roles.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
And we still have question marks through adolescence. Like
Oh yeah.
a lot changes in a person in those formative years. So, while there may be some core concepts that are still true to the character, we may be considerably different next time we regroup.
yeah.
That's what I was going to ask is, so how much time has passed? Because we've all established our age.
Mhm.
So we'll have to be the same, amount of years apart,
Relative.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think where we're at from the quiet year to now has been probably about 8 years. So a lot of development over the years. We're talking with Milo. His character came from outside of the town. So I think about 8 years there, and then we'll do the teenage years, like 15, 16 years old, somewhere around there. I guess that's not, what am I saying? Another
Okay.
8 years after that. Yeah. That's
Cool.
what I mean.
Okay, so then I'll be 18.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be 20.
And I'll be 21.
Okay.
Maybe we'll pull it back then. Maybe 6 years,
5 years.
5 years.
I would be
Six is
18.
good. That would
5
put me
would
at
put
13.
me at 17.
Yeah.
If,
we'll go
if my
6 years
character
after.
was if my character was 12, like eager to be a teenager, quote unquote,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense. So if it was like 5 to 6 years right in there,
Well, and you age in cat years, so you may as well be a full-grown adult by then. So
that's true.
Yeah, I'm cool with being like 18 too. I think that would fit for.
yeah, I can.
Yo, Simon, how'd you grow that sweet beard?
Okay. So, all right. Yeah. So, like, what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah. That'll be the teenage years, and then after that, it'll be less about how after that it'll be when you all return, because you'll all return back to the town after you've been off. You'll return at the same time.
And are
And then
we
how many
playing
years-
as teens in the diaspora and then regroup and play again, or are we just going to RP those years and then come back and
We'll
start
do teenage a few sessions, I think, where you go off and do like I haven't decided what we'll do yet, but that'll be a few sessions as teenagers, and then after that's done, when we come back, it'll be on your return. So in between that adventure as teenagers and you coming back as adults, in essence, that'll be the jump.
Yeah. I gotta say, I love the Goonies Stranger Things vibe from this session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hanging out and walking on the beach and exploring, and like it's totally a normal Oregonian kid thing to do.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I was just reading this
Eating
book
crab
about
on
the
the beach.
history. I was reading this book about the history of JRPGs, and like this idea of like the kids getting together. Ooh, let's go in the cave. Ooh, let's fight a crab. Ooh, like, and then like that was so JRPG to me. I don't know. It was cool though.
Yeah.
Like, it just reminded me of like, I don't know, not Final Fantasy, but like almost like almost like Chrono Cross or something.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Or the beginning of King's Quest 4 or 5, where he's just stranded on a beach and exploring and trying to find.
It was a lot of fun for me too, because I kind of freaked out. I had meant to put a lot more like thought and consideration into my character before today, and obviously it just like never quite happened. And I was texting Alex before this, trying to like flesh out some bigger picture ideas, and I was like, but all the like the small focus things, like you're gonna learn them with me, bud. And
no, that's just fine.
And so I had the idea for the name. And it was like, all right, we'll just go from there. And it's like, okay, I'm going to be a dwarf. Okay, I'm going to do this. And then as we were playing and we were kind of playing in the town and seeing what your guys' characters were like, it was like, okay, it kind of illuminated some interesting things, So yeah,
gives us all a chance to like kind of think, okay, where do we fit in this group?
Right. And then to also, and I was like literally began thinking about like my actual like family dynamic as Ben. It's like, okay, like like this is getting really deep dive into the process, right? But I liked the idea of going by Ben from Ebenezer or whatever, but I was like, Ben's not a very dwarven name. And then I kind of got this like, oh, well, maybe it's because I'm not exactly as connected to like other dwarves as like Duroc was. Like Duroc, when I was playing him, he was like the dwarf,
Mm-hmm.
Like he was all about honoring your heritage and your family and all of this sort of stuff. But maybe Ben doesn't quite have that. And I was like, yeah, maybe his dad's not around. Maybe it's just his mom, like
he's in
maybe
this melting pot in a bay. And
and I was thinking about that too. I was like, I said he was wearing modest clothes. Maybe it's because they only have like modest means, because it's just his mom.
Right.
Like, so
That's
yeah, I don't know.
interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of fun thinking about that.
Well, now that gets Caleb's mind going. Like, what was Ben's mom fleeing, and where's the dad, and like,
is your mother alive? Are you the orphan of the group?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Because none of us were orphans, which is pretty unusual.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about what happened to my dad, and when we were
no orphans yet.
Right.
Yeah, true. When we were overlooking the ocean, I was thinking like part of the reason that Ben didn't go down there, he's weary of it because he was told his like dad died in the water or something, or drowned or something.
He was boiled in salt water. Is he the creepy guy?
But maybe it'll be more interesting because I just think that, Ben as a child doesn't really know where his dad is or why, or know the truth of it. It's one of those things that could have been bad and his mom was trying to get into a better situation, or he died, or who knows. I think that'll be something we uncover some more as we go.
I will be interested to hear.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm excited to watch our characters also, like between now and when level 3, how we change, if we change at all. Like obviously as kids you're a little different. I mean, that's how I'm kind of playing the character, is he's very like, he's going by the books and he's going to follow his mom and he's really into all this stuff. And I don't know, things might change like as teenage years come and everything. He might get a different outlook. So I'm excited to see that with us and how the dynamics change. So
yeah, I love having the opportunity to like, we all got to go back home and like, or to the people that we cared about or wanted to share like this information with, and that kind of like informs a little bit about who our characters will become. Like I knew that my dad was going to be like this kind of like scary figure in Ace's like mind, but like he was really excited to be able to tell him about this. And like, what is the dynamic going to be, as it sounds like his dad's been planning for this and like has a boat planned and is like gathering up the family to leave. Like what is Ace's role going to be in this?
Are we going to lose a friend? Are you moving away?
Well, we'll come back at level 3.
I must say that I've got quite a bit now from our A Quiet Year. I've extrapolated out, what's been going on in the 8 years since, and all kinds of interesting stuff happening. I'll put together a good amount of that so you guys can take a look. But all the little things that we came up with, the temple, the 3 different guards, the Forester Conclave, the City Watch, and the Divine Guard of the Altar are all included in here. And then the relationships between the people that used to live here and the people that have come here expecting the calming and are like building trade infrastructure for it. The old locations. It's been so much fun taking what we came up with and just trying to figure out how it all works together.
It's really interesting to think about how other people view our city like as a target, possibly once the sea's calm. Like they're like, okay, that's the place we're going to go first. And they could mean good, they could mean bad.
Or maybe they're just cruising the inner channel, seeing what
they might find first. Like exploring for the first time and just mapping the coast for a new continent that they've never explored.
Like we're pretty remote, but which means maybe it's difficult to get here on foot for whatever reaon.
And we assume we're a part of some large land mass, but really we haven't seen anything beyond this 10 by 8 horizontal picture that Alex has given us. So
man, and maybe like, since this is such a new town, maybe this was like the port when the waters cleared for all the other continents to converge and like move out into the rest of the continent.
Do you think this city was here before the whole chaos?
Something was definitely here with that thing in the bay. Something was here.
Well, the temple itself has been here for a long, long time. And so I think that's why these people have showed up here, is because they're looking for something they've had in their records of this place being a safe place to go during this calming, because the altar, the people there focus so much on Melora specifically, and of like viewing the future, of trying to prophesize what will happen.
We're in a prime location.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pilgrimage.
which when I like, I knew that beforehand, and then coming into kind of figuring out what this town is, I realized that's why security was so important. That's why they needed a city watch and a forester's guard and a divine guard. It's because they knew people were going to come here, and a wall. You know, like people were wanting to come into this place once this happens, and so I was like, oh, that makes sense. You
Not
know,
so paranoid now.
And then the dress queue, the wealthy family that showed up so that they can reap the benefits of this. Like, there's the reason they're allowed to stay is because they are taxed and they provide for the town. The food bank, the provisions place, is supplied by these wealthy merchants as contract of their being here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that Ace stole the food.
I just thought he was stealing from the place the whole time.
But he was
food that was widely available to
He's
him.
like sneaking in and like
that his father
and like, you know, you can just take that, right? Like, you know.
They'll never know.
Fun if I don't steal it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking when we saw the boats and you were like, oh, it's you used the word kingdom at one point. I was like, is it the kingdom of Usama? Like,
that's where my mind went.
Is it though?
Obviously, Simon wouldn't.
Usama is not along the inner channels. So it definitely, I mean, it could be from Usama. But I think they're not going to be the first ones that show up.
That was kind of my question, is like, I wanted to ask which continent was Usama on, and then which continent are we on right now?
I have not decided what continent we're on yet. I've been trying to figure out what it might be. I haven't put anything in concrete. But yeah, Usama is on Hark-Valen, which is the northeastern continent. And then
is that Hark with an H or with a P?
H. Hark, okay. Yeah, like Hark the Herald, Valen. And then Quailinia is the large island that Usama controls the northern part of, and the wastes are the southern part. And that's it's even more northeast. Like, that's because it's way out there.
And is this
the inner channels
after season 1? Like,
yeah. This is after the first Haven campaign. So this is, I think, 10-20 years afterwards.
Okay.
So the wastes could be Verdant.
The wastes have changed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. In no small part. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, no, what happens with the wastes and the energy of Aether, I've thought about for sure adding into this. We will see how that goes.
It's so interesting I've never played a long campaign before grouping up with y'all, and to have now a long time with certain characters in a certain region and then now being dumped into a different region. It's just, I don't know, there's something more thrilling about it because the world is so alive, that there's so much going on that my character knows nothing about, and how much there is to discover and stuff. I think it's really cool.
I did just get really nostalgic that none of us are going to have as cool of a nickname as Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, very good.
Like, fuck, that was good.
Yeah. Instead, we got Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Old Ben.
Yeah.
You must mean old Ben Colthane.
Oh, old Ben Colthane. That's my father.
I also kind of like the idea of Colthane being like, kind of, because we were kind of joking about, the way it sounded or whatever at the beginning. It's like, I kind of like the idea of finding out that my mom made it up at some point.
Oh,
and she liked it because of the word Thane was in it. It sounded regal and royal, like like she wanted the best future for her kid, and so, anyway,
like we'll fake it till you make it kind of a thing.
Yeah, this is just metagaming a little bit, talking it out.
I'm very excited to see all your characters as teenagers and then adults. This group, I'm really, I think the way we're going about this is going to make some really rich characters, and I can already see it. Is there anything that we should be thinking about as far as that development towards the next season, the next phase
our characters, since we're going to be level 1 and picking our classes, presumably. What types of questions or prompts might you have for us before we start, like things to consider on?
So to start off, I think what I wanted to do with this session was to instill in you guys just how much the calming is part of your growing up. Like, this change of the world is going to play a major part in your characters' lives, because from this day forward, this town is going to just burst. It's gonna grow. It's going to see people coming in and out. It's going to see trade with these people. It's going to see dangers that need to be protected from. So you are all kind of growing up in this very active, changing town.
So that could be. Go ahead.
Yeah, so finding where your place is in this growing town, and then with the knowledge as the years kind of come, that eventually you'll be able to leave. Kind of the church itself, the altar, puts in place this idea that the children of the town shouldn't leave. There should be roots in this town that keep it close to its ancestral ties. And so you're not able to leave until you're older. And so it's kind of like gearing up to eventually leave someday and most likely return, but maybe set sail off for adventure and not return back to this place. So it's like, what can you provide for the city? And then what are your characters like eager to know about the outside world that comes in and visits, that you might then go off and visit yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Okay.
This is gonna be fun.
All right. Well, unless anybody has anything else that they'd like to add, I think I'm going to bring this Crit Files in for a landing. Excellent, guys. Well, thanks for following along with, I guess, like the first Crit Files of this brand new sort of like adventure that we have going on. We hope that you enjoyed our sort of level 0 adventure. And we hope that you come back and figure out what's in store for us as teenagers. I know I'm excited. We'll be here Monday. Until then, grab your sword, keep on adventuring.